Well, everybody's getting their bids ready to buy Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers set a November 20th deadline. That's 2 days from now for first non-binding bids. That means, what it simply means as a non-binding bid is if you put in a bid, like say of $50 billion, we're not going to hold you to that first bid. That just gives us an idea where you're at. Now, later on, they have another date for binding bids. That means if you do put in a bid, you're legally obligated to come through on it if Warner Brothers accepts your bid. But these first rounds of bids are due in 2 days. And remember when Paramount was getting ready to bid, I believe the stock value and the market value of their bid was about 30-ish, maybe low 40 billions of dollars. Well, guess what? According to a new report and story out of Variety, that bid is now going to be $71 billion. And they got a little help from a bunch of Arab nations. The Variety article says, David Ellison's Paramount Skydance is said to be turning to new partners in the Middle East to help him back his offer to acquire Warner Bros. Discovery in its entirety. Paramount Skydance has formed an investment consortium. Now, this is key. We're going to explain why in a second. But it's an investment consortium with the sovereign wealth funds of Qatar, Abu Dhabi, and Saudi Arabia to submit a bid for Warner Brothers Discovery, sources told Variety. The bid is being largely backed by the Ellison family, which owns 100% controlling votes of Paramount Skydance, with involvement from 3 Arab countries: Saudi Arabia's Public Investment Fund, Qatar Investment, and Abu Dhabi Investment Authority. And the sources said, in addition, Gary Cardinal's Redbird Capital is backing the bid. Now, according to the story, each of those 3 nations are going to be putting up $7 billion each. That equates to obviously $21 billion, whereas the Ellisons and Paramount will put up the equivalent of $50 billion. Now, the Ellisons will be the managing partners of the investment consortium. What that basically means is, if they do win the bid to buy Warner Brothers, the Ellisons and Paramount are 100% in control of Paramount. They'll have other investors, but they'll be the ones who be in full investment mode. I cannot help but wonder, I said this to Rob off air, and I shouldn't even say it here. I can't even imagine, right, what the right-wing media narrative would be right now if Joe Biden was still president and allowing Arab nations to buy control of a media company. It would be crazy. I listen, I don't care. Money's money.
That was founded by Jews. The Warner Brothers, Jewish immigrants 100 years ago.
So again, I'm not trying to pretend like there should be an issue with it. I'm just saying I think that would have been hilarious if I could look into an alternate dimension and see how that would look.
Yeah, I think we're in the alternate dimension. That's the sad part.
That being all said, though, this is a huge escalation. Huge escalation in what started off about, I think it was a $23 a share bid, which was going to roughly equate to about high 30s, low 40 billions of dollars. And this is now becoming very reminiscent of when Disney bought Fox in 20th Century, because initially they wanted to pay $35 billion for it, and Fox and 20th Century said, sure. Then along came NBC Universal Comcast and said, wait a minute, we want to put in a bid too. And it forced Disney to end up spending well over $70 billion to get Fox. And as soon as Paramount made that bid, man, I said on this show, I said, once other bidders start coming around, you're going to see that they're like the Ellisons are trying to close this right away.
Yeah.
Because if other bidders come in, they're going to have to spend a hell of a lot more. And still, I don't think a lot of people saw the $71 billion thing coming up. Remember, I told you, I got told by somebody in Paramount, this is weeks ago, that make no mistake, the Ellisons are, the quote given to me was hell-bent on getting Warner Brothers, bringing in other investment, making a bid of $71 billion. Rob, Comcast Universal has that kind of money. Netflix has that kind of money. Apple clearly has that kind of money. But I don't know if to Comcast, to Netflix, or to Apple is worth $71 billion. Paramount may have just jumped into an insurmountable lead at this point.
Guys, we want to take a second and thank the sponsor of today's video,
BetterHelp. You know, guys, as the days start to get shorter and it starts getting dark before you've even had dinner, this time of year can feel a little heavier than usual. And something I've been trying to do lately is to reach out to people I haven't connected with in a while. Just last week, I messaged a buddy of mine that I haven't talked to in a while, and we just grabbed lunch. And afterwards, I found myself thinking, why didn't I do this sooner? This time of year isn't easy for everyone, and staying connected really does matter. We're better when we have community, when we have support, and when we make the effort to check in with the people we know and love, and check in with ourselves. And for a lot of people, reaching out for therapy is the same way. It can feel like a big first step, but once they do, they often say, why didn't I do this sooner? And BetterHelp can be that first step. BetterHelp's therapists follow a strict code of conduct and are fully licensed in the US. They'll also do the matching work for you. After a short questionnaire, they'll help connect you with someone who fits your needs, drawing on more than 12 years of experience. And if the match isn't quite right, you can switch therapists anytime. So this month, don't wait to reach out. Whether you're checking in on a friend or reaching out to a therapist yourself, BetterHelp makes it easier to take that first step. Our listeners get 10% off their first month at betterhelp.com/Campea. That's betterhelp.com/Campea. This is a really big number. What's your takeaway from this?
Well, I mean, you know, a guy like Larry Ellison has ulterior motives to want to control all of this. His data centers, it makes sense going into the rest of the 21st century. The Ellison family would wield a great deal of power across many different media platforms. And as we move into new media, AI, all of those things, they're going to control the means of production and distribution in a way that we've never seen before. And it's going to be global and it's going to be profitable. So I understand why they're so interested in doing this. And imagine the kind of, I mean, the content that they're going to control and the reach that they're going to have. I mean, we've never seen anything quite like it. If they get it, which it looks like they probably will. I would worry though about who you get in bed with and who you're taking money from. You know, what does that money cost you? And I would be curious to see, do they get first money out? Can you get the Saudis and the Qataris and Abu Dhabi, can you get them out quick? Or are they going to demand to stay into these media companies and have some kind of a say? Are they going to have any kind of sway with putting up that money? I don't know. But
didn't have that if they're saying, but Rob, this story just broke about 20 minutes before we started the show.
Right.
But there's already an update.
Oh,
already an update. Variety has just updated their story, and it's saying this: Paramount Skydance has denied the Variety report that the company was forming an investment consortium with the sovereign wealth funds of Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and Abu Dhabi. The information Variety published is categorically inaccurate. I don't know if I believe them, but is categorically inaccurate, a rep from Paramount Skydance said in a statement. This is a confidential process, which we respect, and as such, we will not be commenting until the process is over. What that tells me is that Variety's report is not incorrect. There might be some detail. There might be some small detail in the matter, in the thing. But the thing is, Variety is not Gus's gas station movie reviews.fart, right? They don't just pick up on a rumor and run with it. They get 2, 3, 4 different independent sources to confirm something before they report something. And this is very specific. But I just find it very interesting that in their denial, they did not say, oh, no, we're not looking for investment with the Saudis. But I just thought, since we are talking about it, I just thought I should throw it out there that Paramount has officially said that the report isn't true, although they didn't deny that they're working with Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and Abu Dhabi. Anyway, that's just something else to keep in mind as we're talking about this whole thing. Sorry about that, Rob. I had to cut in there.
No, you know, and the Crown Prince is right here talking to Trump now. So, you know, I mean, you got Qataris running our universities, people giving us airplanes. You never know. I don't think it's inaccurate. And I think that, look, they have to do this because they're going to shore up. Larry Ellison, like you said, is hell-bent on acquiring Warner Brothers. He's not going to let anybody trump his bid. And I think he's willing to do whatever it takes. And he knows that Comcast Universal can outbid what they could muster. So he's gone to, look, if he wants to do it, you go to the place that has lots of money. So it's not surprising to me that he's doing it. Is it good for Is it good for us? I don't know. I can't say. But look, I just think at the end of the day, it's another example of how the business is consolidating, and I don't think that's ever a good thing. When you lose one more buyer of somebody that can decide to make a diverse slate of movies, I mean, regardless, they might give Warner Brothers its autonomy. There's still somebody overseeing. We've seen it happen. Oh, if you do a story on this person or that person, we're not going to let you. And it's concerning. And I hope that Warner Brothers, look, we as movie fans, I want to see Warner Brothers. It's doing well. It's got a great management team there. They're doing some great stuff. They're having a great year, and I'd love to see them continue. And hopefully, whatever happens, they'll be able to do that. Because at the end of the day, it's movies and TV, it's entertainment. But it's also news and other things. So I hope it all works out, John.
Yeah, again, just want to remind everybody that the Variety's updated report saying that Paramount's denying it, but let's say the fundamentals of the story are still true. The fact that they're setting this up as an investment consortium basically means that the Arab interests here, Saudi Arabia, Abu Dhabi, Qatar, they will not have any management interest or control over Paramount or Warner Brothers. They are simply in an investment consortium that is managed and run by and still majority share owned by the Ellisons. So just something for everybody to keep in mind about all that. Anyway, guys, question is for you. What do you think about this? It looks like Paramount may be increasing its bid to $71 billion, which would represent a major escalation if the report is accurate. I'm sure we'll find out more in the next 24 hours or so. Whatever you guys think, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.